A family adopted a 6-year-old girl who turned out to be an adult in her 20s. Canada issues a grim U.S. travel advisory. And a student listed their high school for sale on a website. These are the weird stories for Wednesday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast in the galaxy. I have 3 weird stories from all over the world for you. Oh, yeah. A family adopted a 6-year-old girl. Turns out she's an adult con artist. In perhaps one of the strangest stories regarding adoption, Natalie Grace Barnett, a little person with a rare bone growth disorder, was adopted by a Ukraine family who thought she was only 6 years old. Her adoptive parents later claimed that she was an adult pretending to be a child. Also, they claim that she's a sociopath. Isn't this the plot of a Wayans Brothers film? I believe it is. Michael and Christine Barnett of Indianapolis say that Natalia wanted to harm them and their biological children. Meanwhile, authorities charged the parents with neglecting their disabled daughter. Wow, this is a whole big mess here. This convoluted story is chronicled in a new docuseries, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, on Investigation Discovery. I haven't seen it. Perhaps you've seen it. These filmmakers tried to find out the truth behind all of this. Michael Barnett defended himself during interviews. Christine Barnett and Natalia chose not to give their sides of the story, though. Michael Barnett speaking in the series. He's now divorced from Christine. He says the family was living with a con artist and a psychopath. The Barnetts adopted Natalia from an adoption agency in Florida. Oh boy, that's what you get from a Florida adoption agency. Surprises from Florida. Just be thankful it was a human and not a baby gator or a python. It's a Florida adoption agency, bro. Just be thankful it was the same species that you tried to adopt. Barnett says in the movie that they were given a day to decide whether to do so. They say she has dwarfism. That's what they told him. She has dwarfism. You have 24 hours to sign. Otherwise, she's going straight to foster care. This guy says, we adopted Natalia because we wanted to help somebody who was in danger of never being loved. But did you know she was a dwarf if they told you up front? He said they had no reason to believe she wasn't a 6-year-old orphan. Didn't they tell you she was a dwarf and you have 24 hours to sign? All right. I'm getting mixed signals here. I mean, the bottom line is, you should check the teeth of the children that you're adopting, You want to find out what's really going on there. And while you're at it, look in the child's purse for cigarettes. Find out if the child starts having a period, you've been duped. As for the dwarf claiming she's a 6-year-old to try to get adopted, I mean, I don't blame her. I mean, with inflation the way that it is, have you seen the price of food and shelter? I mean, have you seen that CPI report? My goodness, who can afford food and shelter at this point? I mean, I wouldn't mind being adopted by some parents right now. If they're going to feed me and house me, maybe you can talk them into putting you through college as well. Now, the way this all transpired in the film, Barnett claims Christine gave Natalia a bath a day after they adopted her. He said that his ex-wife was very shocked to discover that their brand new little girl had pubic hair. Ooh, 6 years old, pubic hair. I should raise a red flag. Soon afterward, he said, Christine confronted Natalia because she'd found some blood-stained underwear in her bedroom. Speaking in a home video shown in the series, Natalia replied, I have a period and I've been hiding it. So the dwarf child admits to not being honest about her real age, it sounds like. Barnett says Natalia displayed disturbing behaviors such as urinating and defecating in the car and smearing the windows with feces. My goodness, what is going on here? In public, she would throw herself out of the passenger door for attention. Wow, okay. And how long did you allow this to go on? I mean, I would have brought her back to the adoption agency day after. I don't know. How long do you get before you can bring him back? You got the receipt for this one? You got to bring it back if you got the receipt. In addition to being completely fooled, they were living in fear of this dwarf. Apparently, she tried to poison Christine by pouring cleaning supplies into her coffee and shoving her against an electric fence and threatening to stab her. She started hoarding knives, they claim, saying, I'm going to kill you in your sleep, quote. Another time, the father said she appeared at the foot of their bed with a knife in her hand. This is ridiculous, man. I mean, this adoption agency should be held completely liable. At that point, you can drop her off there and drive away with a clear conscience, knowing that it's not your fault. You've been duped by an adoption agency that hid her age. I'm sure they knew. If they're taking care of this individual or know the caretakers of the individual, unless, I mean, the original caretakers lie to the adoption agency. I mean, I don't know how that works, but it goes up the chain. And it's not the fault of these parents who are, completely fooled. Yeah, it says her birth date is 1989. So, I mean, right now she's in her 30s. At the time of the adoption, she was in her 20s. So the whole thing is a ruse. You adopted what you thought was a 6-year-old. Turns out it's an adult with a 401k. Canada issues a U.S. travel advisory amid mass shootings in the country. A travel advisory board is suggesting that Canadians familiarize themselves on how to respond to an active shooter situation when visiting the United States in light of the mass shooting trend looming over the country. What? Come on now. It's not that bad, Canada. Come on. I mean, there are some driveways you can turn around in and not be shot. Not all the fast food restaurants have drive-through shootings. Okay. Get yourself some Chick-fil-A safely. Sometimes. So the Government of Canada's travel information page reminds Canadian travelers to be very, very cautious and take security precautions when visiting their neighbor in the South, while pointing in particular to the common nature of gun violence in America. Here's a quote from the travel information page. Incidents of mass shootings occur, resulting most often in casualties, Although tourists are rarely involved, there is a risk of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, It says here there has been an upward trend of mass shootings and gun-related deaths in recent years, with more than 200 mass shootings having occurred in the first 5 months of 2023 alone. Yeah, but guys, there was only like 19 over Memorial Day weekend. I mean, so most of us had a lovely barbecue. So come on. I mean, you're generalizing here, Canada. Come on, Canada. We have a quote here from a U.S. lawyer named Sean, who says that the problem isn't a matter of are we generally safe. It is that it is happening with enough frequency that nobody knows when or where. There is a risk all the time. There's no predicting where it is, and that this is going to occur before it occurs. It just occurs. In a statement to the media, we have James Emmanuel Wanky, spokesperson. Wanky. Oh, poor guy's last name is Wanky. Wanky says the Government of Canada takes the safety and security of Canadians abroad very seriously. Canada monitors safety and security conditions abroad 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to provide credible and timely information to our travel advice and advisories boards. And it says here in the article, it's not just Canada that has issued this travel advisory. Other countries such as New Zealand and Australia have advised their citizens to exercise increased caution while visiting the U.S., directly pointing to the gun violence issues as well. But never fear, world. Our lawmakers are on the case. In fact, our president spoke out following a recent mass shooting and said that gun violence is an epidemic and Congress must act now. We need common sense gun law reforms, including requiring background checks on all gun sales, banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, fully disclosing the boyfriend loophole to keep guns out of the hands of domestic abusers, requiring safe storage of guns, eliminating immunity for gun manufacturers who knowingly put weapons of war onto our streets. I mean, see that, guys? The leader of our country speaking out against it, and I've heard a few thoughts and prayers as well. So it's not like we're just taking this lying down. We're making real progress in the gun control department for sure. And that shouldn't be the reason to keep you away from the beautiful U.S. where it's $14 for a burger that doesn't come with fries. And have you seen our axe throwing bars? Those are some chill spots right there. Yay! Would you like to easily create and distribute a podcast everywhere, even earn money all in one place for free? Well, try Spotify for Podcasters. Record and edit on your phone or computer. You can send it to Spotify and everywhere podcasts are heard. They even have video podcasting options as well. Spotify for Podcasters allows you to earn money with ads and subscriptions. Best of all, it's free. Try it. Download Spotify for Podcasters or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your life, man. A student listed his high school for sale on a website. A Maryland high school was listed on Zillow for $42,069 in what school officials have described as a senior prank. I believe it was just senior week, and we are seeing some outlandish senior pranks, including the one I covered on the story yesterday involving fart spray that evacuated an entire school for 3 days and hospitalized some students. In this story, we have a student who listed the high school for sale. The listing, which briefly appeared on Zillow before being removed hours later, described the 12,000 square foot Meade High School as a, quote, half-working jail. Here's a quote from the listing. This is very funny. All 15 bathrooms come with sewerage issues. I think I said sewerage wrong. Sewage issues. There is a nice spacious kitchen and a dining room with a private basketball court. Yay! They also said the property comes with, quote, complimentary trash-scented air freshener and water issues. Whee! This is very funny. I'm sorry. I like this prank. Now, thankfully, the school administrators are taking this in humor. We have Bob, who's a spokesperson for the county public schools, who said the listing was incredibly creative advertising. Here's a quote from him. But we are frankly stunned that the listing so vastly underestimated the value of a prime piece of real estate such as this, especially one with such amazing amenities. I can't imagine that there isn't going to be a rush of bidders to snap this one up. And as far as your typical senior pranks goes, this was very creative. No property was damaged, and thankfully, nobody was hurt by this. And I think part of the reason for that is that it was taken down within hours, because if this stood for several days, not that you could actually sell the school, but you might get people just stopping by to check it out, prospective buyers coming around. A lot of Chinese people rolling up, looking at... Come on, man. Chinese people buy up land all the time, man. I don't know if you've been to LA recently, but all those luxury apartments downtown, they're owned by Chinese people. Jonesy, how could you say such a thing? You're going to get canceled. I'm just stating facts, man. I love this prank, though. This is really funny and much more creative than any prank that I could have come up with. And I always love a prank that uses humor. Like fart spray, kind of funny, but it's such a debilitating smell that it just goes beyond funny. It just becomes grotesque at that point. No one's smelling liquid ass and laughing, but you could read this posting for the school, priced at $42,069, which I'm sure was calculated, and actually laugh about it. Come on, anyone want to buy a used high school? Hey, it comes with 0 bullet holes, this one, and a lovely lunch lady named Catherine. Yay! Don't you know, you fool, you never can win. Use your mentality. Wake up to reality. And each time I do, it's Weird AF News awaiting you at your podcast player. Because I've got you with some Weird AF News. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Jonesy, the host of Weird AF News. Feeling it today. Feeling it. And I just want to let you know that if you would like to call the show, I have a number, 646-450-2012. My email's funnyjones@gmail.com if you'd like to send me some stories or articles or whatever, or just wish me a belated happy birthday, such as Diamond Lewis did. Shout out to Diamond Lewis. She's got an amazing name, Diamond Lewis. She sent me some cash for my birthday and wrote me a message. She says, hey, just cash apped you some birthday ducats. Wish I had more to send, Jonesy. Anyway, happy birthday. Aw, Diamond, so sweet. I'm so appreciative that you thought of my birthday, albeit a little late, but that's quite all right. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I'm just happy that you recognized my birthday and sent me some cash. I'm going to be using that to buy drugs. I'm sorry, coffee. Stupid me. Oh, how did that slip out? Oh, boy, Freudian. Anyways, yeah, still accepting birthday gifts. I'll be accepting birthday gifts for the entire rest of the year, just FYI. Anyways, if you guys would like to support the show, you can go to my website, weirdafnews.com, and buy me a coffee or join the Patreon. That's a way to do it. But no, it's not needed. It's not needed. Just tell a friend about Weird AF News. That's super helpful. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. We do Weird News 5 days a week here. And sometimes it's funny, and sometimes it's disgusting. Sometimes it's just straight up disgusting. disgusting. Jonesy, how could you say those things? I can easily say these things. I'm in a closet. What do you cancel me out of the closet? Oh, horrible. Take me out of the closet. Oh, boy, what a threat. Oh, my goodness. What will I ever do if I couldn't be in the closet 5 days a week? What a life I have. Don't take it away from me, please. Don't. I like being in the closet. Okay, well, I guess we'll see you tomorrow, is what I should say. Any other announcements? No, I guess that's about it. I just want to say thanks for spending your time with me. I'm trying to keep these things under 20 minutes, keep them brief for you, because I know you got things to do. You got crapola to do, right? You're a busy person. You're very, very busy individuals out there, unless you're in Florida.